Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to the lecture series on web designing. Subject code is KCS052. Today's topic is CPanel. Myself Rekha BAGHEL, Assistant Professor, CSE Department, Ajay Kumar Garg, Engineering College. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about CPanel, that is control panel. And next we will discuss about how we can set up a CPanel with the help of name server, and how we can change name server for domain using a, GoDaddy. And next CPanel, how we can log in a CPanel or dashboard. What are the main process that we can create an email account. How we can manage email accounts, it will be discussed next. And what is FTP client, and what are the different ways to connecting to website and uploading files. So CPanel, what is CPanel? CPanel is a web hosting control panel. So we can say it is a dashboard for managing all the activities related to the browser, or we can say the websites. Whenever we want to upload some content to the our website, or delete some content from our website, we can use this dashboard for these activities. So we can summarize it. A control panel or CPanel is a web hosting control panel. It provides graphical user interface for most of the tasks like uploading files, creating emails, handling databases. So uploading files, like whenever you want to upload some files like text file, image files, or audio video files to your website, you can use this CPanel. Creating emails, you can use this CPanel, or handling the database, you can use this CPanel. So these are the main tasks that you can perform with the help of CPanel. So it is responsive and adapts to any screen size. So in web designing, we already know what is the responsive websites. So it support responsive, means whenever you are using CPanel in mobile phone, or in desktop, or in laptop, or in tablet, it support any type of these devices. So it adapts to any screen size. CPanel has inbuilt file manager, which helps in managing the files. So it has inbuilt file manager. It helps you create and manage email accounts. If you want to create some emails for your websites, you can use this CPanel. If you want to manage email, so you can also use this CPanel. So these actions or these functions are supported by CPanel. You can easily create a backup of your website. So storing the data of your website can be done with the help of CPanel. You can easily manage your website databases. So these are the some functions associated with CPanel. By using CPanel, you can perform these tasks. Name server. So next is how you can set up a name server using CPanel. So before understand this this process, we must have a knowledge of name server. So what is a name server? Basically, name servers are a part of domain name system. So name servers is associated with domain name system, and these domain name servers keep the records of which domain is connected to which IP address. So here these are the domains, and domains are associated with IP address. Okay, so domain 1, domain This is the 2, and domain 2 associated with particular IP address. So, name servers allows us to use a domain instead of IP address of the DNS server. So, you can say www.google.com. So, this is a domain, and this domain also will be associated with particular IP address of the server. So, this is the name server basically provide the facility to use a domain name instead of IP address. Okay, this is using the domain name provides the facility for the user to remember the name instead of IP. It's quite difficult for a user to remember the IP address of the particular DNS server. So, this is the main advantage of using name server. When a visitor types the URL of your domain, then the DNS server tells the browser that from which server it should load content from. Okay. So, we can say name server defines the current DNS provider of your domain. This is the use of name server. Now, we will understand how we can set up a name server. So, if suppose you have purchased a domain and hosting from the same provider, means domain you have purchased domain and hosting from the same provider. So, whenever you have purchased the domain and hosting from the same provider, so it is possible that name server is already set up. You don't need to set up the name server explicitly. But whenever you have purchased the domain and hosting from different providers, then you have to set the manually and add name servers to your domain, so that it can point to the domain to the right server. So, whenever you purchase the domain and hosting from the different provider, then you have to set the name server manually. So, these are the two cases. Next is, for setting up your name server, you will have to log in to your domain control panel and update your name server by replacing the old one. Okay. So, when you will update the name server manually, then first step is you will have to log in to your domain CPanel and update your name server by replacing the old one. Okay. You will enter your domain or your name server. Each domain provider has its own application to do. So, every domain provider has its own application. So, you must refer their particular domain register documentation for updating the domain name or updating the name server. Okay. So, this is the procedure by which you can update the name server or set a name server. So, how you can change name server for a domain using a particular domain name service like GoDaddy. Here we are taking the example of GoDaddy. So, the process for changing the name server for domain is you must register with the GoDaddy in your account to edit the name server. So, in that case, you have purchased the domain name and name server from the different providers. So, now you have to manage or change the name server manually. So, the first process is you have to log in to your account and edit name server. So, first step is, this is the step 1, login into your GoDaddy domain control center. So, first login into your domain control center. Now, select your domain name from the list to access the domain settings page. So, enter your domain name from the list displayed and access your particular domain setting page. Scroll down to additional settings and select manage DNS. In name server section, select change. You want to change your name server, so select change. After selecting the change option, you will see these 3 options. Connect my domain to a website I have built. I want to use GoDaddy default name server and enter my own name server. So, here it is recommended, if you are default, this is the default setting, this is the default option, or recommended as well. So, you can choose second one, and finally, you have to select save or connect to complete your updates. So, this is the procedure by which you can change your name server for domain. So, logging into the CPanel dashboard. So, after logging into the CPanel dashboard, so how you can logging your CPanel dashboard? For logging into the dashboard, you will need your login credentials. So, login credentials are basically used for signed up or for CPanel hosting, or you may created using purchase of hosting. So, login credentials, these login credentials are basically the information that you will receive when you have purchased the hosting, or you can sign up for the CPanel, then you will receive this information. So, this is the procedure by which you can get this information, and after getting this information, you can access the CPanel. Okay, after you can access the CPanel or CPanel dashboard by using 2 methods. So, first is by you can access the CPanel dashboard by 2 ports. First port is 2082 and second port is 2083. So, CPanel dashboard can be accessible by 2 ports, 2082 and 2083. When we will use 2082 and when we will be use 2083, it depends on type of connections you have. If you have a unsecured connection, then 2082 will be used, and if you have a secured connections, then you will use 2083. So, 2083 for secured connections. Many hosting providers support unsecured connection, but it is always recommended that you should use a secured connections. So, you can use unsecured, but it is recommended to use the secured connections. And so this is the process. You can access the CPanel dashboard by using these 2 ports. So, there are other different ways to log in, to find the login screen of the CPanel. So, IP address of you must use the IP address of your CPanel for accessing or login to access the login screen of CPanel. So, IP address of CPanel can be used to access the login screen of your CPanel. You may find the CPanel using IP address by typing the following. Whenever you want to type or you want to access your CPanel address or IP address, then you can use this is used for finding the your address, IP address and IP address using port number, and this is used for finding the IP address of your CPanel. Okay, this step is used for fetching the your CPanel dashboard by using the port number, and this step is used for fetching your IP address using your CPanel. Okay, okay, this your IP address and CPanel. So, these are the two steps by which you can fetch your CPanel IP address. So, if you have updated your name server for your domain, then you may use domain for directly accessing CPanel by your domain. So, after logging into the screen, you will see this type of screen. Here you have to enter the username, and after that the password provided at the time of enrolling to the domain name. So, by entering the correct information, you are able to log into your CPanel dashboard. So, next is CPanel, how you can create an email account on your CPanel dashboard. So, this is the procedure by which you can create a email account. So, step 1 is click on the email account. So, whenever you are seeing your dashboard, so there is a email accounts link, then you can click on email account, then email. After clicking on the email account, the you can find the option add email. So, clicking on the add email tab, you are able to enter or attach or input new email account to your desktop or your CPanel. So, this is the interface that is used for adding the email account. So, here add email account, then domain, then password again, and strength, mailbox, quota. So, this is the interface that will be seen whenever you want to create an email account, or you will access the email accounts of add email. Step 3 is add email yours. So, similarly add email, next enter the domain, next password, and password again. This is the procedure by which you can add the email account, new email account or no new email address to your email accounts. So, CPanel manage email accounts. So, how you can manage your email accounts? So, you can use email accounts, you can manage your email accounts through the interface, or you can change your passwords, change quota amount, or delete the email account. If you want to manage your email accounts, then you can just enter the particular email, and as the email data associated the particular email will be shown here. This is the account and this is the type of quota or uses of data. If you want to change the password related to particular email, you can change the password by clicking on this. You can change the quota associated with particular email, and you can configure mail account. You can delete the email account from this delete. So, this is the interface shown for managing email account. So, by this interface you can manage your email accounts using FTP clients. So, what is FTP? File Transfer Protocols client. So, FTP client is a piece of software that is used to transfer files from one computer to the another computer. So, here in our case, your computer to the your hosting provider. So, basically file transfer is used to transfer the files from computer 1 to computer 2. Okay, files. This FTP is used for file transfer, but in our case we are transferring the file from our computer to our hosting server. Okay, to our server. We are transferring the files from our system to the hosting server. So, when you have completed your download and installed an FTP client, you can create connection for your website. So, in FileZilla you do this via the site manager. So, you can upload your files from your computer to the server by using the site manager, and the procedure for uploading the files from your computer to the server is as following. First, open the site manager, click on file. Inside this file menu you can see site manager and click new. A new site will appear, and give the new site a name, that is name of your website. In the right hand pane, enter your host name, username and password and any other details your hosting provider has given you. Check don't save password and click save. So, by this you can enter your details in site manager, and after that you can connect your website either from this procedure. Open the site manager, select your website and click connect. So, this is the procedure by which you are able to connect your computer to your website. So, after connection is established, then you can upload your files from your computer. So, once you have connected to your website, you will able to see the local drive on the left pane and your remote website on the right pane. You are able to upload your whole website into one of the directories on the remote side. So, some web hosting providers may require that you may perform another step before the change to go live. So, FTP servers was on a different computer to your physical website. So, online control panel is used to manage your all the data related to your website as you perform on the local computer. So, CPanel, this is the all about CPanel. So, I hope you have understand the basic use of CPanel. Thank you.